Hiya folks, it's Kikoskia here, letting you know that there's a tiny little dog here that's probably very cold. Look at that little dog. I'm also letting you know that this video contains scenes that may not be suitable for people who suffer from epilepsy. Please keep this in mind if you intend to watch the video. And now onwards, as we get ever closer to the epic conclusion of the White March expansion. Hey folks, it's Kikoskia here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. And when last we left off, we made it to the Chamber of Tears in the low tide section of the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. There we had the option of continuing the cycle of flooding the low tide area or releasing the tide. And we released the tide. This allowed all the people trapped in here to run free. We have Ondra's witness. Something that I think we'll need in the Reliquary. We've probably angered everybody in the upper part of the Abbey, however.
I'm here.
So we're going to need to be very careful sneaking out. Are there any guards still here? There might not be. They might have all ran after the people that escaped. And it looks like they all ran out, which is good.
Hey.
Let's go. And this is when they're all right here, and we get ambushed. Nope, it seems not. But I'm definitely going to have everyone sneaking when we get to the upper part. That's going to be difficult to go through. I doubt the guards have ran all the way out the Abbey giving chase. They could have, though. They absolutely could have. Only way to find out is to be very cautious up here. Sacred halls unsealed! Sacrilege! Okay. They're on the move. But to where? The Reliquary is over there.
I'm here.
I need to make my way there as quickly as possible. And as carefully as possible. Are there guards still here? Not that I can see. Not here, anyway. Okay, it's a straight shot to the Reliquary. So, let's go.
Alright then.
I don't want to fight anyone if I can avoid it.
Yes?
And I definitely want to avoid it. Now, getting out is probably going to involve us taking the lower path, because I don't want to go by all the guards in front of the Abbey. And here we are. Let's hope that Ondra's witness is the thing that opens this up. This is when it doesn't, and we need something else. Oh.
You've made a grave mistake. I will correct it in Ondra's name.
Looks like we're going to be fighting Kaoto anyway. We have Abbot Kaoto, an Ondrite Faithmender, an Ondrite Tidal Fist, Ondrite Swordsworn, and Ondrite Mindgazer. We are here. So, you go there.
Hey.
You rush over here.
I'm here.
You shoot the Mindgazer in the face. You start stabbing there. You shoot here. You do this. And I need you immediately to fireball right here. Stay back. There we go. Nice bit of damage. These are probably going to be pretty tough opponents. Yeah, you're there. You're here. I need you to get this person's attention. You start stabbing there. You're doing that. I need you to blast here.
Following your lead.
You do this. There's also that tidal fist there. And there's you rushing in. Okay, this is fine. This is not as fine as I want it to be. But we do have healing. We have quite a bit of healing. Okay, we probably need to fire some of our bigger spells. No, I think it's time for our bigger spells. Like lightning bolts. Lightning bolts will be good. Oh dear. We need some big heals. Yeah, I was not prepared for this. Okay, do that. I ideally would want to come here from a different angle, because we were just swarmed by them.
Your lead.
Okay, you need to fire off when you get up a disintegrate on someone. Probably you? Oh yeah, you're just down. We need to start with nastier spells right from the beginning. Right from the beginning. There was definitely going to be a fight here at some point. Luckily we have a save just as we come into this area. So, lightning bolts immediately. Dangerous spells from the get-go. Moving Lyrin back so we're not being attacked straight away. Hello again.
You've made a grave mistake.
We have indeed. Right, move forward, move
Yes.
forward, move back.
Yes?
Fire off this spell right here. Against you. I want you... That's a good spell, but... That's also a good spell. Because we're not going to be moving further forward. Do that. You switch to your crossbow. Fire here.
Yes.
You fire here.
Hey.
Do that.
I'm here.
You disengaged. Good. Shoot here. Do that. You're running up. That's fine. Okay, you're about to move back to here. That. Good. I need you to do that again. Yeah, do that again. And I need you to shoot at you. You now need to disintegrate here. Higher but Kaoto. Because you're going to start punching everyone in the face. And the sound is gone. Yeah, we need another lightning bolt. You need to do that. You now need to fire off this here. Oh, you're getting punched. Okay. It's fine. It's actually not fine. Okay, that's a little better. Got some damage there. You need to use this. Ah. Biscuit is down. Little bit unfortunate. You just shoot here. I need another lightning bolt, please. Right here. I need you to start healing a lot, like this. There we go. More lightning bolts will help a lot, because now there are a lot less opponents. That Mind Gazer is still there being a problem. There's a duplicate of High Abbot Kaoto. And another duplicate of High Abbot Kaoto. There aren't many people that aren't duplicates of the High Abbot, though. This is good. Right. Do this. I need you to fire off another lightning bolt, please. And I need you to do this so that you get some health. You're practically out. This is a problem. Can you do this? No. Okay. We have a duplicate and an Ondrite Swordsman.
How may I help?
Ondrite Swordsman's not necessarily a problem if we can blast people like so. And then again,
Yes?
you need to fire off this. You need to heal really badly. You cannot heal. That's a problem. That's a big problem. But High Abbot Kaoto is nearly down. High Abbot Kaoto is nearly down. In fact, shoot Kaoto.
Your thoughts must flow deeply. indeed.
You're not
Yes.
down yet, because there's only this Ondrite Swordsman.
Following your
5 of these means we can have some ogres. Help out! You attack here, you attack here. Okay, I need you to do this. We haven't done this. Oh, you're out. That's fine. Kaoto
Your
is
thoughts
also
must
out.
flow deeply
So we have a
indeed.
swordsman, a tidal fist, and one mind gazer. We can win this fight.
Your thoughts
We can
must
win
flow
this fight.
deeply indeed.
Okay, you need to do this. You need to knock someone down. Like so. That'll help out. You move forward. Get to stab. Like that. And you got knocked back, but that's fine. Because you're gone, and now we can
Wish
deal
you
with
no
you.
harm.
How about thee? This was a messy fight, but Riona's breastplate has leveled up. Rest in the Alpine Dragon's lair after it has been slain. Oh, that's going to be difficult. In Midwood, she came to the aid of the family of an aristocratic expeditioner who had failed to satisfy the house of his daughter's husband-to-be with the dowry he provided. The angry in-laws swore to destroy the family for the insult, and enlisted a band of bleak walkers to perform a deed. Riona rallied together an army of the expeditioner's vassals, exhorting them with a powerful speech about the kind of man he'd been, and together they slew the bleak walkers to the last man. This now has dire blessing when endurance drops below 50%, once per encounter. That is 20% of hits converted to crits for 30 seconds. Also vigorous defense, all defenses for 15 seconds when hit or critically hit. And we also have damage reduction plus 4. However, dealing with that Alpine Dragon, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. I'll tell you what we can do though, loot. Scale armor, fine war bow. Did I put those in your inventory rather than... Yes, I did. Oops. Let's not put those in your inventory. Let's grab all of this. There's a lot of stuff here. We have Robes of the Tidebringer. Light armor. Grants Martyr on Unconscious. 30% attack speed for 30 seconds. Interesting. The ceremonial garb of the Tidebringer, a devout Ondra elected by the conclave to take on the mantle of leadership at the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. There's also some monk outfits, an Ondra paladin helm. Those are cool looking. We have an exceptional heater shield, an exceptional sword, fine spellword amulet, lots of money. Grab it all. Grab everything. Yeah, we took some nasty knocks there. We should probably rest. Hiling payday! Luckily, nobody came to check up on these people.
I'm here.
Nobody came to check up on them. I will do this. I will save, because that was messy. But it was a victory. And that's all that matters in the end. That's all that matters. This is where we need to go to progress, I imagine. But before we do that, let's go here. And there we are. The Veil of Tears is here. And hopefully Ondra's Witness will get us through it. Water flows upward from a thin slit that cuts along the tiles of the floor. Water swells and condenses when touched, forming an elastic barrier that resists any attempts to cross it. Unless... Unless we have Ondra's Witness. Right, save again. There might be some guards on the other side. This here was a great example of our high level not being all that is required to prevail. That could have been a lot worse if we'd have been lower level.
Yes?
They shall see nothing while
Let's
I
keep
see
sneaking.
much.
Is there anything in here? There's this. Few pieces of armor. Or one piece of armor. I'll take it. I'll take it. There's a skull there. I wonder if that is the skull of Abaddon. I wonder if it is. I also wonder if we can use this to escape. Can we use this to escape? There's a door that leads to the Halls of Presence. Okay. The Reliquary is here.
I used to have this big hound, like to dig for bones. Well, he'd be real excited right about now.
Yes, he would. Lodged between rows of crystalline rock, a large fragment of metal protrudes. It looks as though it might be possible to pry it loose. I'm going to take it. At your touch, the splinter of metal begins to glow orange. Heat surges up your hands and arms and envelops you with such intensity you feel as though you are melting down. The heat spreads to the world around you, turns it orange and then yellow and then white. The ground, the sky, everything around you drips in molten globs and begins to take shape beneath you as if in an invisible mould. You and the shard are the last things to melt and fall, and your addition to the molten pool completes the shape of an immense hammer. Abaddon's hammer. The metal cools as quickly as it had heated. The handle is gripped now by two great leathery hands, and the hammer is cocked back over a shoulder as broad and mottled as a hilltop. The wielder whirls around and heaves the hammer, and you are flying upward for what seems like ages into the airless blackness above. As you spin, you catch glimpses of a rock large enough to be a moon. It is close. Far too close to the world. That's the broken moon. Force of the impact shatters hammer and stone alike. The rock is redirected outward, but a section of the front face is cleaved off and begins to fall, splintering apart at the cracks. In 100,000 fragments blossoming outward in all directions, debris showers the atmosphere, trailing smoke and fire. Below, land and sea are far off, but gradually rising up. Look to the land. Features are becoming clearer by the moment as you streak toward the earth. You are lodged in an enormous boulder, falling among other smaller fragments that heat and burst around you on all sides. Beneath you, snow-capped mountains rise up, dotted here and there by cities of stone and Ondra. The impact will be the destruction of all of them. What about the sea? The largest of the fragments, wide as a city, barrels downward in a fiery cocoon. Its size reduces as the edges immolate, but it won't burn up in time. It lands silently in the distant ocean, sending a column of water skyward and radiating ripples that spread like wrinkles in fabric. Then the sound comes tearing up through the sky. It sounds like thunder. The shadow of your rock fragment is visible now, getting larger by the second. You are moments away from striking the ground when a massive shape throws itself into your path. The last thing you hear sounds like another rumbling impact. But that isn't what it is. It's a chuckle, relieved, breathless. You hear two words. Made it. Everything goes dark. You open your eyes. The metal hammer fragment has come free, and now you hold it in your hands. It is warm to the touch. The air around you is suddenly turbulent, spiteful. A cold, damp wind whips your face. Salt crystals collect in your nostrils and the creases of your eyes. The floor below you becomes grey-blue and glassy, churning and rolling. And when you fall, you crash through water. Violent waves hurl and spin you. Something slithers around your ankles, seizes you with incredible strength, drags you down into the salty depths. When the pulling stops, you are hovering at the center of an endless blue abyss. You can see neither surface nor floor. You seem to be facing downward, but there is no way to be sure. A voice sounds from everywhere at once, and the immense pressure wave of each utterance sends you reeling.
Deceitful wretch! Grave robber! You who dig for that which you did not bury, speak! Explain yourself and be judged.
I seek a means of defeating an army that threatens my lands.
You seek what is mine, what was rightfully lost.
The outburst propels you, sending you end over end.
Your actions speak for themselves. The battery opened, the forge ignited. You set free souls that hid from me, that stole from me and evaded my judgment. The dwarves sealed their own fate. The forge was meant to be forgotten. And now, here you are again, denying peace to the buried.
The turbulence around you calms. Silt settles like a slow exhalation, and the vast, dark seascape beyond the murk fades in. Rays of light trickle down from far above onto green-gold columns of kelp that rise from the depths and sway back and forth in the current. Fish and mollusks patrol them in groups of hundreds and thousands. The nearest pass you with watchful eyes. What do you mean the forge is meant to be forgotten?
It was never meant for mortal use. Such power, such truths lie within it. It can bring only ruin. When the Pargrunen came to the White March, they were peaceful. They shared common beliefs and purpose. Their visions for the Forge tore them apart. You have seen this for yourself.
We have.
They would have destroyed themselves in the end.
I see your point. Would never have known, but I see your point.
I mourned the loss of the Pargrunen. Misfortune brought them here. They did not deserve to end so soon.
What are the bones of one god doing sealed in the temple of another?
Do not play coy with a god, Watcher. I know you have seen his death. I feel it whenever a forgotten thing is taken from me. Abidin did not deserve to die here. This place, it was the least I could do to give his remains some privacy.
The least you could do?
The least I could do for ending his life.
Life drains from your surroundings. The kelp forest becomes a corpse of black tendrils, stark and twisted as regret.
I called the moon down to me, Ioni brother. It was against his wishes. He would not listen to reason, would not listen to me. In his madness, he splintered the moon. But it was not enough. The greatest of the fragments still fell toward that which he would protect.
And he blocked it with himself.
In the end, he took position where it would fall, and absorbed the impact himself.
I thought Belafra and Coldwell were the moons.
Ioni brother is their smaller sibling, tiny next to them.
Small enough that the world would survive its impact. But why the temple? Why the secrecy?
That time has been forgotten now. And so his death belongs to me. Everything he was before the impact.
But you slew another god. Surely the other gods know this. Surely Abaddon must know. Current surges through the kelp bed, pushing each plant sideways like saplings in a hurricane and propelling you backward amidst the torrent of wayward fish.
No! He cannot know! He must never know!
Why?
Understand, he was not always as he is now. His body was not all he left behind. He was devoted to progress and industry from the beginning. But so too was he devoted to preservation. In those times he would let nothing go. Nothing could be forgotten. His will was iron long before his body.
What was it he was trying to preserve?
Time has finished much of what I started. I cannot tell you that, mortal, for fear of undoing all its costly work.
Preservation. So that was why he went so far to oppose you.
We agreed long ago, all of us, not to alter the course of Kith's civilization. Not directly. Not unless there were no other choice. But in this matter, there was no other choice. He understood that as well as anyone. It was for duty that he opposed it. I would have stopped it if I could, but by then it was too late.
You make it sound as though you were the sane one.
The other gods knew what had to be done, but they lacked the will to go through with it. Even gods have their attachments.
Are you sure? It sounds like you did this of your own volition rather than knowing what had to be done.
To erase all knowledge of such a grand thing required unthinkable devastation. The Eastern Reach, Deadfire. Mine was the only solution. When I called down Ioni brother, they remained silent. Even Abaddon. He knew it was for the best.
Or maybe they were just horrified at what you did.
But he tried to stop it all the same. Perhaps deep down I knew he would. I should have expected it. I could have stopped it.
I want to ask you something else.
You may ask.
Why did you pull down Ione Bratha?
The great conundrum of a god is how close to become with your subjects. Too far and they lose hope. Too close and your own judgment fails. Civilizations are meant to ebb and flow. Allow them to persist for too long in power or knowledge, and you invite catastrophe. There was a time when we let our sympathies get the better of us. When memories were allowed to persist that should have been washed away. The other gods could not be moved to act. I did what had to be done without them.
You were too close to a civilization? Which do you speak of?
I speak of what is forgotten. I failed that day, but my purpose was achieved in the end. I will not dredge up the memory to satisfy idle curiosity.
Does it matter if something is remembered or forgotten? It's in the past in either case.
Memories are the spirits of the past. You of all people should know their sway on the present, Watcher.
Perhaps more than I'd care to admit.
Mortals measure the worth of their lives in memory. Who will remember me? How long until I am forgotten? Memory governs every thought, informs every choice. It can fuel passion, understanding, love, or it can create obsession, madness.
How many of those are you currently going through with Abaddon, when you're thinking about Abaddon?
You have seen it plague many souls in your travels. Consider the old Watcher who inherited unspeakable crimes from birth. Or the young woman who committed herself to Brackenbury for love of things she remembered she had. Or the fisherman whose life became a sentence the day he killed his sister. Or the Glonfathen boy for whom an old medallion was worth more than all the fruits of his labors. They could be free from their burdens, if only they could forget.
Their problems go deeper than memory. Simply forgetting does not make them go away.
For some, perhaps. But for many, the memory is all that remains of it. Even when problems have run their course, memory can be the stone that sinks you into the abyss.
I'm still not sure I agree, but no matter.
Your past has not overwhelmed you yet. Wait. Was there something else, mortal?
The army that destroyed the dwarfs, the Eyeless, are they yours?
What the world casts aside, I take into my care. A thing may be forgotten, but it is never alone as long as I am here. They were lost children, abandoned, fixed on a purpose that no longer had meaning. I took them in, gave them new purpose. I did not create them, but yes, they are mine.
They're Abaddon's. I saw them forged.
They were his once, I won't deny it. He created them as assistants to carry out his work on Eora. But he has long been the overseer of progress in the world. Leaving things behind has always been his way. I allow him to leave his past in my care, so that it does not hold him back.
You and Abaddon have a unique connection, then.
I suppose we do. But then, the gods have always been able to accomplish far greater things when working together.
Nearby, you see a shark pass through a school of fish. The fish scatter, evading the predator. I have to ask something else about the Eyeless.
Speak your mind.
What new purpose did you give them?
Some things that are forgotten must never be remembered.
Here we go. We're getting to the meat and potatoes of this.
Not merely for the benefit of those who forgot, but for the entire world. There can be no second thoughts, no sympathy or stays of execution. The Eyeless were born to fulfill this task, though even their creator did not know it. They are single-minded and relentless.
You mean they kill those who remember what you want forgotten?
They do not flinch when called upon to do what is necessary. Kith owe them a great debt for the troubles they have hidden away.
I want to ask you something else.
You may ask.
You say on one hand you had to call down Ione Bratha, yet on the other hand, you would have stopped it for Abaddon.
The death of a god is a calamity. You are living in the aftermath of one such death. Surely you can understand.
You've said that sympathy can't get in the way. What about yours for Abaddon?
He deserved better. Of all the other gods, he was the only one who acted, who held to his convictions.
The goddess of relentlessness must have appreciated such a quality.
Yes. I admired him for that.
But it's more than that. You loved him. The push and pull of the current becomes long and heavy, like a sigh.
Whatever he was to me, it was not meant to last. Always our duty is to Eora first. I knew he opposed what I intended, that he would wish to preserve what I meant to destroy. I knew it would cause a rift that might never be mended, but I never imagined he'd go so far. I never imagined it would mean I would never know him, as I once did.
If he doesn't remember dying, why not begin again with him?
Because it might cause him to remember. No, mortal. Better that we should exist as we are now. What happened once must never happen again. Bad enough that I am cursed to remember it.
I want to ask you something else.
You may ask.
I need you to call off the Eyeless.
On the contrary, mortal, their work must continue. Far too much was uncovered while they lay dormant.
They draw attention to the very things you wish hidden. In my dreams I have seen them swarming over the Deerwood.
Those who know too much of the White Forge will be washed clean from Eora, and then the Eyeless shall rest once more.
This isn't some lone tribe of dwarfs. The Forge sees visitors from all over now. The Eyeless will tear the Deerwood apart. It will never be forgotten. The sea life around you stirs back and forth, agitated, restless.
Even if it is as you say, there is nothing that can be done. The Eyeless do not think for themselves. They have only the purpose that is given to them. They do not stop until the purpose is fulfilled. They will not change course now for me or anyone. I am sorry.
Kaoto said they could be called off.
Only if those they pursue are no longer a threat. The raid Sarens were stopped before they could take the White Forge. In your case, Watcher, you are well beyond that now. And if what you say is true, then the Deerwood is as well.
This was your doing. You must intervene.
The interventions of gods seldom work out in anyone's favor. Our touch is too heavy. The world crumbles beneath it. It is why we so often enlist the help of mortals. They execute our wishes with greater care. I have done far too much already.
And if you won't stop them, I will.
Your determination is commendable. But the Eyeless number in the thousands. You will need more than strength or luck.
It may cost me my life, but I will do what I must.
I will give you what aid I can. I bade the Eyeless to remain hidden when at rest. They are gathered in the hollow of a great rock, splintered from Eyone Bratha. It lies in a flooded crater known as Kairin's Scar. Know, too, that they were built to answer the call of their master's hammer. When they hear it strike, they come to its aid.
And we have a bit of that hammer.
If you were to take that piece of his hammer from here and reshape it in Abaddon's forge into a likeness of the original, you might be able to call them to you. But destroying them would be another matter. I know of one way, but only from the center of the Lion's Den. Only with their master's hammer in your service. If you can do all this, if you can reshape what remains of Abaddon's hammer and bring it inside their lair, I can instruct you there on what you would need to do.
I will do what I can.
And I will see you through when the time comes.
I will remake the hammer in the White Forge and stop the Eyeless.
If you do not, be assured, they will come for you as they did for the Pargrunen.
An uneasy turbulence disturbs the calm like an unwelcome thought.
Careful as you approach the lake. When I claimed the Eyeless, I made sure they would not be discovered while they slept. Many of my most devoted followers stand watch there. They will not allow you near. And there is something far worse. Something more fearsome and dangerous than any Eyeless. Let us hope you do not attract its attention.
What is it? In place of an answer, a sudden surge in the current from beneath sends you hurtling upward. The surface above you approaches fast, shifting and glimmering like quicksilver. You emerge soaking wet on the stone floor of the Reliquary, gasping for breath as if you've been holding it for hours. Well, that was unusual. Recreate Abaddon's hammer. I can do that. The cracks of his jawbone suggest that a forceful blow separated it from its skull.
Hey,
It was the bit of the moon. Major adventure added! Oh boy! Alright, Spunty, off you go. Go on another major adventure. And when we come back, folks, we need to make our way out of here. We've done all we can. Hopefully this will get me out of the Halls of Presence, so we can then make our way back to the White Forge. And quickly, lest the Eyeless attack again. But that'll be for next time. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not. And if you are subscribed, press that bell for those notifications. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.